Okay, let's talk a little bit about Tara Reade. Tara Reade is the woman who accused Joe Biden of sexual assault. Now, I'm not here to evaluate her claims, to play tit for tat, to debunk things. I'm getting a lot of emails from people saying, David, I need you to go through the evidence. Did she do it or didn't she? Did she do it? Meaning, did she file the complaint or didn't she file the complaint? Did Biden do it or did he not do it? I'm not able to do that, and nor do I think it's the appropriate thing to do. What I am here to tell you is from a political standpoint, in terms of figuring out what you're going to do in November, if you are someone who is debating what to do in November on the basis of the Tara Reade situation, there is never going to be a conclusive investigation that tells us what happened. Okay, you all need to understand this, and you're going to have to figure out what to do in November without a conclusion from an investigation. And the reason that it's not going to happen is that it essentially cannot happen given what we know. I'm going to explain what I mean in a moment. The reason this is important is that a lot of people who don't like Biden and don't like Trump are now taking advantage of the Tara Reade story to essentially not have to make a decision about whether voting for Biden is better than voting for Trump. People who clearly are on Biden's side on the issues, or closer to Biden's side than Trump's on the issues, are insisting that until they know the truth about what happened in the 1990s, until it's really investigated, they can't decide. It's time to skip to the end. Any investigation that takes place based on what's been made, what allegations have been made so far, would not tell you whether this did or did not happen. It wouldn't. This is not just about he said, she said, although it is. This is not about believe women or don't. As I've said before, making allegations is very serious. It exposes the victim to harassment and shame and the whole thing. It must be taken seriously when a victim makes an allegation. This is simply about, all that I'm talking about now is that there could not possibly be, based on everything we know right now, a conclusive investigation. There's a bigger topic as well, which is, can someone prove they did not commit a sexual assault when the allegations themselves are like the ones we have here? There's only a very narrow way that you could prove you did not commit a sexual assault. And that would be like, imagine that Tara Reade filed a complaint on a specific day and we saw, oh, the allegation is that this supposedly took place on this day. And then Biden's travel schedule from that time shows he was out of the country. Okay, maybe in that narrow scenario, you could conclude he didn't do it. But beyond that, you can't really prove you didn't commit sexual assault. And in this particular case, we can't even find the complaint. Biden said release certain records, but he hasn't said release others. Tara Reade doesn't have a copy of the complaint. She previously said the complaint was for sexual assault. Now she says the complaint she did file doesn't mention sexual assault, but it describes sexual harassment. But there's no copy of the complaint. So what I am telling you is not that she's telling the truth or that she's lying. We should take her allegation seriously, but there is not a complaint to investigate. Joe Biden cannot prove his innocence, nor is there any way to confirm Tara Reade's allegations. There couldn't be a conclusive investigation. Now, what about this idea that's floating around that she was fired because of the complaint that she filed? It's such a mess at this point that no investigation could conclude anything. She says she was fired for filing the complaint we can't find. There's a negative performance review on file whose timing can be used to call this into question. Well, what if you go and talk to witnesses? Well, Tara Reade says she approached 3 Biden aides about this back in the 90s. All 3 of those people told the New York Times they don't know anything about it. Could they have forgotten? Sure. Could they be lying? Sure. But the point is, it would be like the Kavanaugh investigation, where it is impossible to conclude this happened or this didn't happen. Given that, there is no way that an investigation would ever tell us Biden did it or Biden didn't do it. The message is you're going to have to decide whether you prefer Trump or Biden to be president. I think there are lots of people who would love a way out of voting for Joe Biden and would see Biden did it as a bailout, that they need to feel okay about taking an action that helps reelect Donald Trump. Listen, the DNC screwed itself. They selected a sexual assaulter. They lost my vote. But that investigation is not going to happen, and you're going to have to decide on the issues. Now, does any of this clear Biden? Of course not. There's almost no way Biden could be cleared. Again, if it was determined that on the day Tara Reade claims this happened, Biden was in China, that might clear him. But you'd still have people say, oh, I'm sure Tara Reade just doesn't remember the right date. If the investigation determined, as almost every single one of these do, that it cannot find evidence to confirm Tara Reade's story, nor can it find evidence to disprove Tara Reade's story, people will read that as whatever they want. Either it happened, but there's not enough evidence, maybe because the evidence was suppressed. People will come up with that. Or people will say, see, I told you there's no evidence that this thing happened. It doesn't matter in the end, because you are going to need to decide, given that there will never be such a conclusion, you will need to decide what is better for the country in November. I'm not going to evangelize my point of view. You all know the calculation I've made. You are going to have to make the same calculation without the benefit of a conclusive investigation, which there will never be. There may be an investigation. There is no way, given what we know, that it would be conclusive and give you the answer many of you are waiting for. If you disagree, let me know. I'm on Twitter at @dpakman. If you love feeding your intellectual curiosity, but you're always struggling to find the time, check out one of my all-time favorite apps called Blinkist. Blinkist lets you consume an entire book on your way home from work. They take thousands of popular nonfiction books, condense each one into text or audio that you can get through in just 15 minutes, and you get all of the important core ideas and information from that book. It's perfect if you don't have enough time to do all the reading you want to do, or if you just want to sample a book before you buy the entire thing. I recently read A Brief History of Time, of course, by the great Stephen Hawking. This is a book that I have been aware of for so long, and other things got in the way, and it was fantastic to check it out on Blinkist. Blinkist has books on politics, philosophy, science. They have 27 different nonfiction categories, and a subscription is only about $8 a month, and you get the entire library. But you can try it totally free and get 25% off a subscription when you go to Blinkist.com/Pakman. I've put the link right underneath this video.